welcoming you juicy news, baby dolls. Highest value content in crypto, BTC, 113,000 American dollars. FlopTober. She's got some life in her, doesn't she? That magical blue pill does wonders for us. Remember, Bitcoin starting off FlopTober with a flop, and the middle of FlopTober with another flop. But is there time to save it? I think there is, friends. $114,000 getting very close. We're going to be speaking about Michael Chad Saylor. We're going to be speaking about StableCoin, SuperCycle, Kyrgyzstan, some XRP stuff. We've got some cracker information coming today. By the way, everyone's speaking about Richard Hart today for some reason. Okay, just to let you know, there's been some pulse chain sacrifice treasury movements from into Tornado Cash. Nothing new for us. But for some reason, I don't know why, it's so random, right, with attention. It's like everybody's just chain messaging about that. It's kind of funny. One guy out of all the KOLs who have no idea what's going on, one guy was close. He asked, hey, he's like one random KOL, just going to tell you. He goes, hey, is he going to funnel the funds through Hex again? Like, he basically asked that, and then, like, his audience is like, no, he's a scammer. And I was like, oh, he was close. He was close. We're getting there. We don't want them to know, by the way. Okay. Now, I'm going to crack on with some news, friends. We have BTC. Check out this monthly candle. Look how close we are to flipping green, man. This is an absolute monster result that nobody saw coming. Remember I said, man, you know, I mean, we can always save it. There's still time in October. I just didn't think it would happen. You know, I didn't want to jinx it. That's what it really comes down to. Bitcoin at 113,000. My gosh, friends. I guess we opened the month at 114,000. Jeez, man. The ramifications of this are huge. You had 50% of every crypto KOL in the industry calling for the end of the bull market, man. 50% is an enormous amount. And then guess what? The candle is about to flip green by the end of the month. I don't want to jinx it, but imagine it does. Oh, what a total embarrassment. False start it was for everyone. Check out Ethereum as well, friends. Ethereum's also almost flipped green. You got to check this out, man. This is setting up for one big swing trade. Okay, Ethereum 4,200 would make it flip green. Remember I said you'd get in here, your stop is below this swing low. You almost got liquidated, by the way. 3,454 at touch. Your stop, I guess, would be 3,350. Almost got liquidated, and you're trying to target like 3 units of risk here. And funny enough, it would take us about to 7,200 American dollars, which is the major fib if you draw a fib from the top to the bottom, which I'll just show you again what it looks like. The Fibonacci level that is for Ethereum. Remember, you got a fib, you got it from the very, very top of the range to the bottom of the range. And I'm just targeted up here, 7,300. I really hope we do get here. Yeah, but then what? You know, in my mind, we're getting there eventually. But then what? That's the magical question, okay? That we're not going to know the answer to. And I know it's going to be very, very, very tough, friends. It's going to be very tough, especially when we get there. Because, man, it's going to be wild. Especially if we have Altseason Wave 1. If we have Altseason Wave 1 here. Oh, man, do you know how hard it's going to be for me to say, look, man, I know there was a bit of fun and euphoria, but it's actually not over. Because there's 2 Altseasons in every cycle. Like, that's... Oh, my gosh. Now, I've been telling you from the start, don't rely on Altseason Wave 2. I've been telling you that literally from the start. The sad part is, man, like, if it's a... I was hoping, and you were hoping, we were all hoping that by the time Altseason Wave 1 came, your portfolio from today is, I guess, 10 to 15x higher than what it is right now. So you have the luxury of taking enough profits and securing yourself so that if Altseason Wave 2 comes, it's great. But if it doesn't, it's all right. You've done well. The problem is everything's been so destroyed. I can't fathom everything just doing a 10x from here in that point. Maybe Pulse Chain from here, but Pulse Chain is 0.3x of sack price. Do you know what I mean? It needs a 3.5x just to get to break even. So 10x from that would basically be just back to May 2023 launch price high, which is around 2.5 to 3x sack price. So... And Chainlink, friends, Chainlink is still, what's this piece of garbage? Chainlink is $18. I mean, friends, it hit $20 in August 2020. So it's been over 4 years. My gosh, what an abomination, man. So, yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, but what you and I are going to do, we're going to have a look at the price action on the short-term time frame. Remember, friends, we were talking to you about how we came down here, we squeezed under the monthly low, and then we came back and we tested it twice, and this was really depressing. We had that scammer whale try to scam everybody. He tried to basically scam it down. He made his few percents, and now we're actually grinding back up. In my mind, though, this zone is we're always coming back to test something here. We knew, hey, man, this is it. what are we going to do from here, right? Even blockchain backer thinks we're coming here and we're rolling over into a bear. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like everyone thinks, okay, there's a bounce coming, but it's about the failedness of the attempt to the punch through that creates the bear later on. That's actually what everyone's expecting. Okay, so we'll see what happens, BTC. But we got to admit, man, for Bitcoin to have a green monthly candle and finish end of October up here, that'd be phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Because like you're really, now you know you're gambling. Like you're calling for a bear market at the back of a green monthly candle. You know what I mean? It's like worse than 50-50. Worse than 50-50. Because if you look how many green candles it would be in a row. If you're still calling for a bear market and there's only been two green candles in a row, I mean, you're literally saying this time is different. Right? You're literally saying this time is different. Whereas in the past, there's always been 6 or 7 green monthly candles in a row for Bitcoin. I'll just come back and I'll show you, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 7th candle was red. It was April 2021. That's how it finished. And yes, that's pretty much giving you an example to call for the end. So it would be people saying, oh, this time is different, right? So that's what happens. You know, people say, oh, are you saying this time is different? You know, you can spin that any way psychologically at all, right? It's kind of like an abusive boyfriend where they say, no. I was only abusing you because I love you. Okay? You know, but what's the catch with it? Well, you know, they just make up whatever the hell they think is appropriate. They say, no, I'm doing this out of love. You know, oh, no, I had to cheat on you to make sure that I still love you. Right? I'm doing this because I love you. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure that I'm not tempted in the future. So let me go cheat on you now. You know what I mean? Like this type of psychological warfare game. You could play the same thing with people in markets. Because what's everyone saying? Oh, 4-year cycle. Oh, no, it's all over. And I'm saying, oh, you're saying this time is different. Bitcoin's never done 2 green monthly candles and for it to all be over. It's always been 6 or 7. Literally, in 3 out of 3 cycles. You're saying this time is different now. How come that pattern doesn't have to repeat, but you just make up another one? Because, friends, everyone's got their own bias. Everyone says, no. I'm a strict follower of the data. Friends, if there was one data point we could all just follow, or even 2 or 3 or 4 that worked every time, no one would need a trade. You'd all be billionaires. Obviously, we know that's not the case. I want to show you something as well, friends. There's going to be a Bitcoin CME gap that's formed. By the time this is uploaded, maybe it's come out here. So Bitcoin's opening $113,500. Okay, to close the gap, Bitcoin's got to touch. Funny here, 112,360. So it's actually not that bad. It's very, very easy for it to just touch it today. Just close it, and then we're off to the races. And we hope it's going to be a good result. Let's actually crank it for us. Now, we're going to go check out Meth, friends. Ethereum, here we have out here. Oh, yeah, by the way, I had to re-upload one of my videos. Man, it's such a waste of time. I spent 35 minutes re-watching. YouTube wouldn't tell me why this is basically contraband and banned. They wouldn't tell me why. And I had to go through, and I was like, oh my gosh. In the middle of it, I spoke about smoking crackles, if you know what I mean, okay? But in it, as a joke, I described, let's just say, some method of smoking crackles, such as a spoon, just heating up a spoon, just what everyone knows from the movies, of course. And I guess YouTube was just like, nah, that's totally banned, but they won't tell you why. So we're always pushing the limit here. Okay, it's kind of funny, man. I was so frustrating. I went literally half an hour. I'm like, why? What's wrong with this video, man? I'm like, oh, could be the smoking crackles part. We're going to have to call it crackles now. This is the Ethereum, friends, otherwise known as Meth. So this is also, trader mains long this, and he's targeting anything much higher. Just something interesting, right? He likes this. He's seen this a lot of patterns before. The first point we want to get to is maybe around, yeah, it's going to be around here, friends, around the 61.8, around 4,400. This is, when Ethereum's here, this is going to be the battle, you know? We reject down, and then we're going to go to blockchain backers bear market, and where everyone else in crypto wants to have or are we going to like pop up and do something? Okay. Friendly reminder as well. So President Pump is meeting with President Winnie the Pooh in like 2 or 3 days. It's like the precursor, and then they're going to make a deal by like November 1st. And I guess they're trying to make it to some world wrestling type of experience. I guess that's what it looks like as well. Here you have gold literally doing nothing because this is gold trading over the weekends, right? So hopefully this is Pax gold, right? This is gold. So we need gold just to keep, don't go for your higher, bigger moon. Friends, please, I want you to remember this, okay? And I'm going to have to peg my own nipples in this very serious manner right now, okay? You saw when retail lined up, okay? I was yelling at the top of my lungs saying, bro, retail are literally lining up. I mean, like, this is an ultimate. This is definitely ending badly. When do you ever see 100,000 dudes in Ho Chi Minh lining up and then all ending the story by them becoming a freaking millionaire because they bought the right asset and they all just decided to line up to go buy it? I was every day, friends, like 5 times a day, every single video I was mentioning it, okay? Meanwhile, here's POP, by the way, proof of peg, okay? Meanwhile, while I was saying that, every single KOL who hates altcoins, funny enough, and loves Bitcoins, plus the gold maxis, was saying, no, they're lining up to sell gold. No, it's central banks buying. It's not retail. They're doing the right thing. You saw it, friends. You saw it. And then bang, instantly 9.5% drop. Literally dropped. Kabooshed. You saw that. You see, everyone was like a deer in the headlights. That's why, friends, I'm telling you, when Euphoria is here, it's going to be scary, man. You know, remember, friends, at the top, everyone said, oh, you're all the friends, you know what we were reading on Twitter? At the top here, we're reading on Twitter, everyone says, everyone was saying this. They said, you know, gold's going to 5,000 because everyone on Twitter's trying to call the top. Yeah? They said that at the top, and it was the top. It was the top. Retail lining up, okay? They're using our words as contrarians, and they're trying to spin it for themselves. So all the words in the world, friends, not going to help you. You got to be one with the crowd. This is it. That's Euphoria, man. You know, are you going to have the ovaries and the pointy elbows to be able to exit on Euphoria? I know everyone says yes, but man, look how hard it was even for gold. We're outside, man. Everyone was saying, no, it's still going up. There's always a bull in a bear case. Because guess what? Central banks are buying. They are buying gold. You know, it's Russia, it's China. They are buying it. Yeah. But you can't, look, man, you got to remember, friends, at the top, right, say gold, right, when gold's at 4,300. I'm not saying it's top forever, of course not. Gold's probably going to head to, like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the future, whatever. But you saw at the start, at the top, right, you got to remember, when you hear the case for you to keep holding, okay, don't think of it like, oh, it's out to get you, or, you know, or this information is deadly. Think of it from this perspective, okay? You have to see a very compelling bull case because people have to be buying there. Okay, they have to be very compelling. Central banks are buying. It's not even retail. Okay, it's some sort of news article, story, N-word narrative that appears that makes it very compelling for these noobs to be buying. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, when Bitcoin's 250K, everyone thinks, oh, sweet, I'm selling. No, bro. When it's at 250, I'm telling you, there might be like a feudal war between China and America, and they have a race to print money and buy Bitcoin. And then you're too scared to exit. Yeah, you're just too scared to exit. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you here. When Euphoria comes, there will be people buying up. There'll be a very compelling case why they should be buying up there. Okay, but you still have to be able to step out. Right? You still have to be able to pull the trigger. And I can't make that decision for you. No one wants to leave, bro. No one wants to leave. But I'm just telling you, like, you know, the market giveth and the market taketh. It's very hard, but hopefully we get there after 5 years of down-only altcoins. Now, OTHERS-btc, we are so far away from Euphoria, it's not funny. What's interesting is we already know all this information about ETFs and everything. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, our, like, load has already been blown in a very family-friendly way when it comes to, like, okay, how could altcoins possibly go up? What is it? Oh, interest rates are dropping. No one cares, bro. We already saw that. Interest rates in QE. If you're not going to put 0% rates in QE, we don't give a crap anyway. Like, oh, wow, rates are kind of helping. So what I'm telling you, so okay, what people do is they then make the mistake. They go, oh, therefore altcoins have no value. That's because they're copers who like to sell bottoms, okay? What I'm trying to imagine in my mind, I'm going, dude, if altcoins are going to be here on OTHERS-btc, only God knows the type of bullish news that's going to be coming out to do it. I don't know what it's going to be, friends. Like, but it has to be colossal. That's why I don't know. I'm thinking, like, you know, Apple, Amazon, Twitter, they make crypto exchanges. You know, They allow you to make a coin. They let you trade something. They do a buy and burn. I don't know what it is, but something where we're like, oh my God, the game is changing. The game is changing. You know, like friends, just imagine, okay, just imagine Amazon come out and they say, okay, we're now adopting a financial strategy. We're taking 10% of our cash flow and we're reinvesting it into a split between Bitcoin and Ethereum every quarter. Like, and they just like, oh my gosh. But like with Amazon and Tim Crackles' company, Apple, like there's a lot of these old boomer board executives and they're fading crypto. So they can't vote on that because it's all boring stuff. They always vote no to this stuff. So that's why, friend, my brain can't even comprehend what is it going to take, man. The news has to be so good, you know? I mean, look at gold, right? Why were people buying gold at 4,300 saying it's going to 6? Because, central banks are buying. The strongest of the strong hand in buying. Maybe that'd be the same thing for crypto. But is Major Loser Powell going to drop his pants and say, I've got to get myself some hex? I don't know. But you don't need to know that story. Just to let you know, you don't need to know it. It's just I'm just thinking right now, man, like what's it going to be? I'm very curious, right? Because I actually see the value. Remember as well, friends, we have a very important, okay? The racist Russell 2000 is still in expansion territory. A lot of people are now fading it. It's kind of funny, friends. It is hilarious to me. Okay, it's hilarious. Friends, it is. I'll use the H word. It is hilarious to me that people who did not talk about the racist Russell 2000 at all for 3.5 years, okay? I never once heard them refer to Russell or how racist he is at all. I never once heard them talk about the breadth of the market, how it's the only lagging indicator. I never once saw them show the business cycle or anything. Now they're coming out to stick their neck and they go, oh, all that data's irrelevant. Why? Because you've already sold, because you're a soy boy cuck. Of course it's irrelevant to you. You want it to go down. You know, it's a believer's cycle. That's it. It's a believer's cycle. Oh, by the way, there's same people saying, oh, there's never going to be a Bitcoin and gold rotation. Just shut him. Just, friend, look, everyone's biased, friends. Everyone's biased. And that's okay to be biased. That's okay to be biased. You and I are friends. If we're going to the cinemas and someone takes your seat, okay, I'm going to slap him and say, get off. I brought my friend here. We got a seat together. Not a love seat. We're here to watch a movie. Okay? I'm biased for our friendship. Duh. Take a stand. Well, it's the same thing in markets. These people, friends, they've sold. They've got stablecoin portfolios. They've got gold, whatever it is. Okay, they're ready to get out. They're out already. They are biased too. Okay, but remember, because Michael Berry comes out, makes autistics famous. He's like, oh my gosh, the whole world is retarded, but me. It's time to get short on the biggest housing crisis at all. Just create this generation of people who want to stand in front of the train and be like, oh, everyone's stupid but me. Bro, how come in any of these soy boy cucks, not once do you ever talk about the debasement trade? Not once. You know you know what inflating your currency 8% per year does? Compound that for 5 years. See, they can't do that. Why? Why? Because they got soybeans in their head. Yeah, I said it. They got soybeans in their head. Compound 8% for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, bro. Compound that. That's your denominator getting destroyed in value. Okay, because the supply is going up 8% per year. See what that does to you. But because you understand, man, these people, they use daily charts and they think, oh, I'm a long-term investor. I use a daily chart. I've got a 3-month view. I've got a 12-month view. I'm actually long-term. So, friends, look, you know how you know you're a massive noob in markets? You know, friends, every industry, they've got like the retailer trap where people don't understand anything. You know, like for example, like when someone says XRP is going $1,000, you're like, you're not really in crypto, are you? you know that, right? Well, in markets and trading, okay, when short-term guys, they always say this, okay? They always say, it's easier for me to tell you where the market's going in a day or a week than it is for me to tell you where it's going to be in a few years, okay? That's actually the biggest misconception. And that's why there's always opportunity, because that's actually wrong. That's actually wrong, yeah? The shorter your time frame, the higher the chances of you just being straight 50-50. It's just a 50-50 chance, the shorter the time frame. The longer you go out, right, the higher the odds it's just going up. Okay, just to let you know. So, but if you like, you check charts, you do long-term investing, you actually know this. Okay, that's how you know someone's a total noob. Cracker news today, friends. Bitcoin hit $113,000, attempting to close the FlopTober red month price gap of 114. Remember, most crypto KOLs are seething with anger. They are begging for a bear market to start. Please, Mr. Bear Market, please. I've been a naughty boy. Here's my chain collar with the spikes. I'll walk on all fours for you, Mr. Bear Market. Please, Mr. Bear Market, come, please. I want my audience to know that I was actually correct and I told them to sell. Mr. Bear Market. Waving their rainbow flags. That's pretty much all the crypto KOLs. Buy my indicator. It's going to predict the bear market for you. That's every single other crypto KOL pretty much in a nutshell. Okay? And the ones that aren't like that, I know some of your friends in my Telegram, you've alerted me. You're like, hey, Sommi, this KOL, he's, you know, they're on board with your views as well. And I'm like, Habibi, that person, and there's a few KOLs that go, just to let you know, they actually just watch me. Because I got excited too, but I'm like, no, they're just watching me. So you're just listening to my voice, just someone else. Someone else's research team regurgitate it. Okay. Michael Saylor has hinted about buying more Bitcoin, friends. He's posted the orange dots. Okay. Now, another kind of thing how you know it's a bottom signal. Michael Saylor, friends, the best part. When Bitcoin goes down, it's actually at a bottom. Okay. It's much lower Bitcoin purchase than when he buys at the top. When he buys at the top, he's buying 5,500 at a time. He's buying 5,000 BTC. At the bottoms, he buys like 18. That's him. That's him. He's going to be top blasting, friends. He's going to be top blasting, okay? This is the MicroStrategy MNAV, still at 1.14. Remember, this is dangerously low. It's one of the last things in a premium. I think when it goes down to 0, I think when it goes down to 1.0, sorry, which means the Bitcoin on their balance sheet's worth less than the public market, which is super like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to be going wild. I think when that happens, a lot of people are going to say it's over, and I'm going to be saying, no, welcome to Altseason. Yeah, and that's actually the first time the universe, friends, right now live, my brain, okay, peanut brain, okay, still a brain though. It's the size of a peanut, one little salt crystal. I'll actually be saying, welcome. I'll actually make a video. Welcome to Altseason. Okay. If we see MicroStrategy's MNAV hit 1.0, because that's the market saying, guess what? We want to take on more risk. Bitcoin's too boring. That's actually the first key. Okay. We're watching it a lot of the time. So I think that'll actually be welcome to Altseason. And no one's going to believe it, but good, you know. And we're the same people saying that the bear market's starting now to come back in a year. So remember, friends, my job, I'm not here to convince anybody. I don't give a crap, okay? I'm here just putting good stuff out to the universe. That's it. That's it, okay? Here's what I say. Here's what I do, yeah? The fact that I'm not actually charging you like $5,000 a month, okay, should be even higher for advisory fees, okay? People will take it for granted, but good, I don't give a shit, bro. I don't give a shit. I mean, look at Richard Hart's wisdom, for example, you know? Well, because he doesn't put himself behind the paywall or put an indicator behind a paywall. You're telling me it's useless information? No, it's better than all the rest. Because you have to think about who you want to help, friends, you know? But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Payments processor Zelle is going to allow crypto stablecoins for international transactions. Look, man, every day we see the boring infrastructure, stablecoin, SuperCycle stuff keep going up and up and up and up. That's not end of bull market stuff. That's middle, dude. That's the middle, you know, because it's information that's amazingly fundamental, positive, but it's not like, oh, super exciting, euphoric. Exactly. That's the middle. That's the middle, man. Stablecoin, SuperCycle. Speaking of stablecoin, SuperCycle as well, friends. Remember, we had PDI dropped 40% in a day, in like a few minutes. I actually made my video yesterday for you. You should watch it, friends. It's definitely highest value content there. This is the PDI price chart on 1 minute. It went down. As you can see, I think they were like insider selling here, if you know what I mean. And then the capitulation happens to see if they could catch anybody else out here. And then it's come back up, starting to recover. I did buy the dip, but a lot of you, like, I didn't buy it here. I think I started buying, I don't know, somewhere around here or something. It already come back. But don't worry about that, friends. It's like, actually, you do what you want. Could go to 0. I don't give a crap, but it's 400x to $1. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a 30, 40% dip. Dude, we're like so low. Like, any price under 1 cent, to me, it's just, I don't want to use the word free, but, you know, it was at 3.4 cents last year, right? So, it'd be beautiful. Also, there was a gentle sir in my telegrams, Mr. Hexstream. He just shared something where, don't quote me on this, but with the Pulse Chain Layer 2s, they might use the xDAI stake method of having a side chain where you actually stake your stablecoin and the validators hand it out. If you remember, friends, from Chico Crypto, who had xDAI stake and Matic, and then Matic won. And yeah, obviously, I got crushed on xDAI stake. I had like 11 bullets in it, 11 or 12, and I only had 1 or 2 in Matic. I forgot. But guess what? Because Matic did 100x, it actually more than made up for it. But like, obviously, I total regrets, man. I wish I just did 50-50. Yeah. I wish I just did 50-50 instead of, because I didn't know any better. Because Chico Crypto was shitting on Matic every single day, saying, hey, it's just centralized Indian dudes. They're not going to win. They're not going to get the adoption. And guess what? They got the adoption. They were chosen as an Ethereum side affiliation. They were chosen. And xDAI stake wasn't. You know, so it's just a lesson there, right? Even though, because he was saying, oh, decentralization. If Vitalik cares about decentralization. Didn't matter, man. You know, so maybe there's a lesson there. But you know, what's the lesson? Guess if you see some people competing, don't just throw all into one thing. I was lucky and blessed. I still had a bullet in it. Many people didn't. From xDAI stake channel, they had 0 allocation to Matic, 0, right? So they just lost everything. Whereas I just that one bullet, just having a just in case bullet, smashed it. Also, same thing with Cardano. You know, that's why, friends. I watched Chico Crypto FUD stuff, and they did 100x in his face. Right, even though Chico had great information and stuff, and learning about MakerDAI and MakerDAO and stuff was, yeah, but yes, just lesson for life. That's why I watched him do that. I'm like, all right, like it's not in my nature to do this, but there's no way I will never ever. I don't care how shit a coin is or how terrible train is. I will never look at it and actually draw the down arrow. I'll never do that. I will never, ever, not in crypto. I don't care what it is. I'll never actually say, oh, this thing is definitely going down. It's so I will never say that. I literally. Gosh, you know what I mean? Just watching the 100x go in his face. You know what I mean? And just, here's the thing, friends. When these people are wrong, they don't come out and say sorry to you. They just say, oh yeah, I did other good things for you. Yeah. And then what happens? It's just, you know, you missed out. It's over. You know, and look at it. It's been, by the way, it's been 5 years now. You still haven't had opportunity. That's why I would say with Pulse Chain, if it does work out, well, anything else that does work out, you got to milk it, man. You have to milk it. Because, like, look, bro, we're still waiting 5 years. Has Cardano or anything else given you 100x? As, like, in, like, the top 30 category? Nope. Nothing. Look how dry it's been. Could be your last one for many, many years. That's how I think all the time. Even it's abundance mindset, but it's competitive, right? Coinbase aims to move the entire startup journey on-chain, says CEO Brian Boldstrong. So they're going to be moving, obviously, a lot of things off centralized exchanges onto the DEX world, but we'll see when it comes to that because, man, you know, they're sponsored by the Coconut Intelligence Agency, bro. They're watching everyone. They got all the KYC. They're going to do the human identity passports. But, you know, we all know what's coming. Just like we know, you know, elections are rigged. Just like we know there's assassinations. Just like we know about the foreign intel. We know, bro. Just give us our bread and circus. For the love of God, you even made gold pump. Okay. Where's our Altseason? Kyrgyzstan has launched a stablecoin on BNB chain and plans a CBDC and crypto reserve. Well, there you go. Stablecoin SuperCycle. I've been talking to you about it literally over a year now. Over a year, stablecoin SuperCycle. The world needs a natively decentralized stablecoin. This is the ultimate product market fit. First, we made Bitcoin. We got the store of value. We got the just-in-case island. But now 85% of the world wants the US dollary doonie. So anything that can attach itself to the value of a dollary doonie will be very valuable. Okay, because every merchant accepts it. Okay, and they want to hold it. XPR, the first US spot XRP ETF, just topped the 100 million assets under management per Rex Osprey. So, friends, remember, with XRP, you still see a lot of people say they don't like it, centralized, Ripple, blah, 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 blah. I don't care, dude. I care about Ripple Army. I care about XRP Army. I care about them, okay? I want them to go up. We all want them to go up, man. I want to see XRP at $10. I just please, bro, just like the fact that you could break your all-time high from 2017 by 3x just shows everyone it's possible, man. I want everyone to see it's possible. They got barely any tech. They just made the moves. They just hung around long enough, and guess what? It worked out. I want to see that success story. I'm rooting for them. Even though a lot of people, I see him as an underdog. Most people don't, but I see him as an underdog as in like they're competing for mindshare all the time. They're always on the back foot. They're never leading the industry in anything. You know, and people sometimes might get offended at hearing that. But no, dude, it's inspirational. Isn't it amazing that you can still be one of the biggest market cap crypto, rising and growing, even despite not having any of that? It's amazing. It's like winning a car race and your car's got no wheels. Car's got literally no wheels. It's got a mini fridge in there. Okay. And it's got one of the, have you ever seen those limousine cars, friends? They have like a little, the charcoal, the coal lighters in there so you can smoke your shisha inside. It's got those stuff. Maybe, but it doesn't have any wheels. You know what I mean? It's useless for the race. Doesn't matter. It's still able to win. Also, shout out to everybody from Africa. Africana, crypto laws as adoption stores. The news was cut off a bit. But yes, adoption in Africa is huge because we all know that African politicians are like exceptionally corrupt. Like it's really like it's in the blood everywhere of just be like, you know, just rot this, rot that, show a picture of a starving kid, take all the money. Yeah, it's just been heaps and like there's been corruption from day one. So the people, unfortunately, the wonderful people of Africa can't do anything about it until now. You have stablecoins, you have crypto wallets. All over Nigeria, that's what everyone's using. They're using just a stablecoin rails. They're holding US dollar. That's wonderful. Because their own national currencies, I think, debasing at about 14% per year. Best case in some of them. Best. Some of them, it's more like 2% a month. There's like 20 to 30% losing per year. So yeah, now they just have the dollar. Yeah, which they only get debased 8% per year, which is much better than exponentially getting destroyed. Because that means at least you can save for like 3 to 5 years to kind of like buy something, which like, you know, invest in land or whatever, and help them in saving that. Obviously, they should be in Bitcoin if you want to accelerate your wealth, but you know, one step at a time for everyone out here. These are some pictures out here. This is my friend CZ with the Kyrgyzstan. Here's Brian Boldstrong with some slop AI. A very lovely question to think about where we're going from here, friends. Like I said, we have the BTC monthly candle, $114,000 will clear the zone. So we're hanging around here. It's nice. We've come back for this nice mean reversion, middle of the range. And now what? You know, are we going to come back and screw everyone again? Or is it all over? Or is something big going to happen somewhere here? Just to remind you, the Bitcoin and gold rotation, based off history, okay? Based off history, doesn't have to repeat. It's around like 10th of November, okay? So if it's repeating, by this period of time, we're hoping we actually are seeing Bitcoin do a smart swipe up. But it could even be from the all-time high. You never know. It could be up like here, and it's ready to go like that. Right? We go pop. We come up, squeeze again, do nothing in middle of November. Here comes the Bitcoin gold rotation start. Is it going to last 9 to 14 months like the past? Or are they going to say, oh, this time is different? You know, like I said, this time's always different, bro. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.